Welcome to Skytech-Lens. Let's dive into a story about John Deere, a company as American as apple pie. For generations, John Deere has been a symbol of hard work, innovation, and the enduring spirit of rural America. Its legacy stretches back nearly 2 centuries, woven into the fabric of countless family farms and small towns across the country. Their green and yellow tractors are iconic, synonymous with American farming. These machines aren't just tools, they're a source of pride, a badge of honor for those who work the land. For many, seeing a John Deere in the field is as familiar as the sunrise. In late 2024, John Deere announced a $55 million investment in a new factory, not in the US, but in Nuevo León, Mexico. This new facility marks a significant shift in the company's manufacturing strategy, signaling a move to expand its global footprint. This move was a shock to many, akin to discovering your loyal dog has been moonlighting as a cat. For loyal customers and workers, it felt like a sudden twist in a familiar story, leaving many to wonder what prompted such a dramatic change. The factory will produce cab assemblies and compact loaders, crucial yet smaller pieces of equipment. While these may not be the massive tractors that plow the Heartland, they're essential to the company's product lineup and to farmers everywhere. John Deere framed this as a strategic expansion into the Latin American market. By building in Mexico, they hope to better serve customers in the region, reduce shipping times, and tap into new opportunities for growth. However, for American workers, this felt like a betrayal, raising questions about the future of U.S. manufacturing. Many worry about job security, the loss of skilled labor, and what this means for the communities that have depended on John Deere for decades. This decision reflects a complex web of financial pressures and market forces. Global competition, rising costs, and the need to stay ahead in a rapidly changing industry all play a role in shaping such choices. The story of this factory is about more than tractors. It's about loyalty, economics, and the American dream. It's a reminder that even the most iconic brands must adapt to survive, and that progress often comes with difficult trade-offs. Why would John Deere, a company with deep American roots, decide to move part of its manufacturing operation to Mexico? At first glance, it might seem like a surprising move for such an iconic U.S. brand, but the reasoning is straightforward. The answer, as with many business decisions, lies in the numbers, specifically the cost of doing business. In the United States, manufacturing wages average about $27 per hour, and that's before factoring in benefits, insurance, and other overhead costs that quickly add up for employers. Meanwhile, in Mexico, the average manufacturing wage is closer to $5 per hour, making labor costs dramatically lower for companies willing to relocate production. This massive cost difference is a major incentive for any company looking to maximize profits and remain competitive in a global marketplace. Lower wages mean lower production costs, which can translate into higher margins or more competitive pricing. But cost isn't the only factor. John Deere faces intense competition from Asian manufacturers like Kubota and Mahindra, who have already mastered the art of producing reliable, affordable equipment at scale. These rivals are not just competing on price, they're also building reputations for quality and innovation, making it even harder for Deere to maintain its market share. By shifting some production to Mexico, Deere hopes to lower its costs, compete more effectively on price, and better serve the rapidly growing Latin American market, where demand for agricultural equipment is on the rise. This move is not just about saving money, it's a strategic response to global economic pressures, supply chain challenges, and shifting customer bases. While Deere insists its core manufacturing will remain in the US, this shift signals a broader, more flexible strategy that adapts to changing market realities. Ultimately, it's a reminder that in today's interconnected world, corporate loyalty often prioritizes the interests of shareholders and global competitiveness over national identity or tradition. The battle for market dominance is now global, and every decision, whether about location, labor, or logistics, is driven by the relentless pursuit of the bottom line. Enter former President Donald Trump, reacting to Deere's move with characteristic flair. He threatened a 200% tariff on Deere equipment made in Mexico, calling it a betrayal of American workers. This bold threat was designed to grab headlines and resonate with his base. Deere's stock price dipped as investors reacted to the potential financial impact. Trump's stance was part of his America First philosophy, viewing trade as a zero-sum game. His targeting of Deere was a warning to other companies considering similar moves. Critics warned that such tariffs could violate trade agreements and harm American farmers. The threat of tariffs turned Deere's decision into a political football. The stakes were high, with potential consequences for the entire agricultural sector. The real impact of these corporate moves was felt most deeply by American workers, whose lives and livelihoods were suddenly thrown into uncertainty. For many, the factory floor wasn't just a job, it was a way of life, a source of pride, and the backbone of entire communities. Before the Mexico plant announcement, Deere had already laid off over 2,000 workers in Iowa and Illinois. These weren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. Each layoff represented a family facing a new reality, and towns bracing for economic aftershocks. The news of the new factory hit an anxious workforce hard. Rumors spread quickly, and break rooms filled with worried conversations about what the future might hold. Deere assured that core U.S. production wouldn't be affected, but for many employees those words rang hollow. The fear of more layoffs lingered, and trust in corporate promises was shaken. The potential shift of 5 to 10% of production to Mexico created job insecurity that rippled through the plant. Workers wondered if their jobs would be next, and some began to quietly search for new opportunities. Layoffs ripple through communities, affecting local businesses and economies. When a factory job disappears, so do customers at the diner, the hardware store, and the local grocery, leaving small towns struggling to survive. A job at Deere once promised stability and a future you could count on. Now that promise feels fragile, and the sense of security that defined generations is slipping away. Deere announced a $20 billion investment in U.S. facilities, hoping to reassure workers and communities. But for those already facing layoffs, the promise of future investment was little comfort in the face of immediate loss. The human cost of global strategies is paid in worry and uncertainty. Behind every statistic is a person, a family, and a story of resilience tested by forces beyond their control. Families face tough conversations about tightening budgets and uncertain futures as they try to hold on to hope and navigate a changing economic landscape together. Amidst corporate and political pressures, a new battle emerged on American farms: the right to repair. Farmers, frustrated by Deere's repair monopoly, demanded the ability to fix their own equipment. Modern tractors are locked by proprietary software, forcing reliance on costly authorized technicians. This dependency has left farmers feeling powerless and financially strained. The right to repair movement gained momentum, pushing for access to repair manuals and parts. Legislation in states like Colorado has already shown positive results, reducing repair wait times. This movement is a fight for autonomy and against corporate control. It's a modern agrarian revolt, with farmers demanding the right to fix what they own. The outcome could set a precedent for consumer rights in the digital age. The right to repair movement caught the attention of federal regulators. The FTC launched a lawsuit against Deere, accusing it of monopolizing the repair market. States joined the lawsuit, increasing legal pressure on the company. Leaked documents suggested Deere's systems were designed to maximize service revenue. The lawsuit could set a precedent for industries using software to control repairs. State-level legislation is forcing manufacturers to reconsider their practices. Even Mexico proposed a plan to support U.S. farmers affected by equipment delays. This issue has become a national policy debate, with Deere facing challenges on multiple fronts. Deere's move and tariff threats created chaos at the U.S.-Mexico border. Customs delays left essential farm equipment stranded, causing logistical nightmares. Farmers faced massive losses as equipment delays disrupted harvests. The economic fallout was severe, with losses in the hundreds of millions. A potential trade war could devastate American agriculture, raising equipment costs. Retaliatory tariffs from Mexico could further harm U.S. agricultural exports. The policy could punish the entire farm sector, affecting crop prices and food costs. Experts warned of unharvested farmland and threats to the nation's food supply. The situation highlights the fragility of global supply chains and trade policies. American farmers face multiple crises, with the Deere saga just one part. Low water levels on the Mississippi River are choking barge traffic during harvest. Farmers must choose between costly transport options, reducing profit margins. This logistical bottleneck makes U.S. grain less competitive globally. The Trump administration's support plan is seen as insufficient by many farmers. The Deere controversy, right to repair fight, and trade policies create a perfect storm. These issues highlight the fragility of the food production system. Each problem exacerbates the others, tightening the economic vice on farmers. The interconnectedness of global trade, logistics, and corporate behavior is evident. Why should you care about this story? Because it affects us all. John Deere's decisions impact job security, politics, and food prices globally. This saga reveals the harsh realities of globalization and corporate priorities. It raises questions about corporate responsibility and consumer rights. The right to repair battle is crucial for everyone in a digital world. The outcome could empower consumers and redefine ownership. This story is a reminder of our interconnected world and its complexities. The journey of a John Deere tractor is a window into the global economy. Thanks for watching. Subscribe the channel for more updates.